Hello, Assalamu alaikum guys. Today we are going to start a new chapter that is in which we are going to be discuss about the scaffolding, shoring and the formwork for building. So this chapter comprises of just the discussion of scaffolding, and in the next part of this chapter, this recorded lecture, we will discuss about shoring and the formwork. Okay, so this chapter or this lecture recorded video just going to be comprises of discussion of scaffolding. So for the whole chapter introduction, why we need these particular components other than the main structural components, why we need these supporting elements. Actually, whatever we are going to be discussed in terms of scaffolding, shoring, underpinning or the formwork in terms of shuttering and the centering, all of these technical words are going to be used for the supporting elements other than the main structural components of the building. Okay, so we are much more interested in the discussion of the supporting element also, because whenever we are doing the construction on the site for one particular kind of a building, then we are also be interested in designing and by providing of these kind of the supporting elements like scaffolding, shoring and underpinning. So during the construction of any project, some temporary structures or supports are constructed. Those may be a kind of a support, mean not a kind of a particular structural component, but those may be a proper structures needed to be designed, but temporary structures. Later on, when construction will be done, actual construction will be done and completed, then you can remove these temporary structures or supports. It may be needed for the construction of various engineering structures beyond certain height while doing the surface finishes, alteration in the structures, for repair works, for RCC roofing, etc. So all these are the purpose or the reasons that why you are using these kind of the supporting elements or the temporary structures. These are needed while doing the surface finishes to give some alteration within a structure, for the RCC roofing and particularly for the repair work also. Such structures are constructed maybe in the form of scaffolding, shoring, underpinning, formwork. Formwork may be two terms, two forms be there, shuttering and the centering. So in today's lecture or in this particular recorded lecture, we will only going to be discuss about the scaffolding, and in the next part of this lecture or this chapter, we are going to be discuss about the other temporary structures. So if we talk about the scaffolding with respect to the buildings are very important. These are the temporary structures constructed to support a safe working platform for the workmen and the materials. So mainly if you are going to be highlight that why scaffolding are used. Of course, the scaffoldings are the temporary structures or the supporting structures, but why we are using and for which you can say reason or to which component or the element we are providing a support. This is the platform for the workmen and the materials. So workmen or the masons or the laborers are needed on site to be work on a particular safe platform, so that they can work on heights also. Okay, they can do the surface finishes, they can do the repair work, they can do any kind of the construction part that is needed to be done, mean the plaster placing, mean brick work, any kind of the work that is needed during the construction. For the workmen at heights, they need a certain platform to work safely over there. That is going to be this purpose is going to be fulfilled by providing the temporary structures in terms of scaffolding. And materials also, obviously with the workmen, of course the materials be there, they are carrying the materials with themselves to just fulfill their requirement for the building, so that they can do their task very safely and comfortably and conveniently. So to fulfill this requirement, for to provide the platform, the safe platform for the workmen to do their work on site, and the materials to carried by the workmen, they are going to be that particular purpose is going to be fulfilled by providing the scaffolding. Okay, so although whatever the other the structures we will discuss, like formwork and the any other kind of the other that we have discussed earlier, those are also the temporary structures, but by the purpose those are fulfilling on the side, depending upon that particular thing or definition, we can define our scaffolding. Okay, so you have to define very specifically that your scaffolding, although a temporary structure, but it is constructed to support the safe working of platform for the workmen and the material. Those are required during the building operation is known as a scaffold, and the method of its construction is called as scaffolding. Okay, so how to provide a scaffold? A scaffold is constructed mainly for the masonry work and the surface finishes like paintings, distempering, whitewashing, and the repair work included into it. So it comes under the safety regulations on construction site, and the standards have been prescribed for its layout and the use. So randomly any person or any site engineer or any other person who is responsible for the construction on site is not going to be provide you the idea that the scaffold you can provide like this material you are using, but depending upon the type of the construction, depending upon the height of the construction, depending upon the work that has to be done on the construction side, we are going to be follow, or the engineers are going to be follow the proper standards, okay, prescribed for the scaffold. Okay, that which kind of the material you are using, with how distances between the different parts of the scaffolding you are providing, what are the different dimensions for the scaffold material you are providing. All of these things are not randomly you are providing on the side, but according to the proper regulations and the standards you are providing on site. So this is the very general diagram. Here you can see the two diagrams on the screen. So you can see over here that just the, you can say the wooden material has been used over here. Okay, in terms of bamboos like this. So these kind of the wooden bamboos are used, and on which you can see that person is the labor are just doing, I think, the repair work. It's just a repair work they are doing. So with the help of these safety cables they have attached with the windows and with the buildings, they are working. So there is no proper wooden board or any other platform, just they are climbing up like a stairs on these wooden material that is acting on site as a scaffold. Okay, so this is going to be called as scaffold. And in the other picture, other figure, you can see that the properly placed platforms are there for the workmen to do, or the laborers to do their work. Here you can see, okay, these wooden boards are placed over here. Okay, other than the vertical members, the horizontal members are also placed. So here you can see the materials. Okay, so all type of the varnishes, the paints, the plaster, mortar, bricks, tiles, blocks. Okay, so concrete block. So depending upon the materials that you are carrying above, you have to design properly your scaffold. Okay, and all of the materials. Why? Because although it's a temporary structure, although it is not the main structural component, although it's a supporting element, but still it is carrying a certain load, the load of the persons, the load of the materials. So the proper stability in terms of the bracings, the proper play, the connection of the scaffold, different components of the scaffold, connecting your vertical member with the horizontal member. Okay, all of this analysis is very important before providing your scaffold. You can provide the wooden material as in scaffold, you can provide the steel material, steel tubes you can provide. Okay, here you can see these are the steel tubes. Okay, those are vertically erected, and from those vertically erected steel tubes the horizontal wooden planks has been placed in between. So where you are placing these wooden plank, here the intermediate kind of the beams are required. Those may be of the wood, may be of the steel. Their connections are very important. So you cannot take it, you can say, a non-serious issue on site while during the construction of any building. That's very important, you can say, a component that is needed a proper analysis before using it on site regarding the load, particularly the load coming on that particular scaffold. So if scaffold is be there, it should be properly analyzed for all of the loads coming on it, and should be properly designed for the materials you are using as a scaffold. Now we are going to start with the types of the scaffolding. So very first type we will discuss today is the single scaffold or the bricklayers scaffolding. Two names are alternatively can be used: single scaffolding or bricklayers scaffolding. So here you can see the wall. Okay, this is completely going to show you a wall with the foundation, and here on the other side you are going to show the continuity for this particular wall. So inside of this wall, while during the construction, while laying the brickwork, or by doing the for doing the plaster work, you need a certain supporting members. Okay, so those in terms of the scaffold can be provided. So here the numbers are given in this figure, and this figure. This is the section of our you can say scaffold when you are going to be see from this side. Okay, this arrow is also going to show you the section side. So if you are going to be cut a section and you are going to see from this side, then this scaffold, how does it look like. Okay, so along the wall and perpendicular to the wall, during all this discussion we are going to be define different components of the single scaffolding or the bricklayer scaffolding in terms of the members of the scaffold or the components of the scaffold along the wall and perpendicular to the wall. Okay, so in this way we are going to be discuss all of the components. So numbers are there, depending upon their numbering one by one we can discuss what are these. So you will understand step by step that what are the different components, how they are assembled at the end, and those are going to be fulfilling their requirement as a scaffold. So very first definition is the standard. Those are buried in the ground. So first of all, we have an understanding of the standard. What are the standards? Standards are the vertical components in any scaffold. Wherever you will see these aligned, particularly aligned vertical component, number 1, number 2, there are different definition for number 2, but these vertical components definitions as standard is same. This is also a standard, the vertical component. Okay, so all of these three shown in the figure, vertical components of the scaffold, are going to be called as standard. We are not talking about over here about the material. It may be steel, it may be wood, or any other kind of cast iron, okay, or any other metal. So we are not discussing over here, but we are discussing about the depending upon the layout. Okay, its geometry of the scaffold, we are defining its components, and those components are going to be defined as in standard if it is a vertical component. Okay, so the first one is the standard, how you are providing a foundation for this vertical component standards. So in first number 1 case, your standard is buried within the ground. You can see over here. Okay, this is going to show you the condition where it is just buried for a very smaller loads, very smaller value of the loads coming on the scaffold. Just burying of the vertical components into the ground, into the soil, will be enough. Number 2, it is the standard, but it is standing or resting on the base plate. A proper foundation we are providing in terms of a base plate, maybe of wood, maybe of steel, and then we are connecting it with this base plate to provide a proper support. The third one is standard, that is placed in a drum with the soil. So if we are not getting the proper strength with respect to the foundation for number 1 and number 2 case, then we can improve it by providing a drum at the bottom of the standard, and by placing the soil of our own choice, and then placing the standard inside, so that it can be compacted, can be confined, and giving you a proper foundation strength. So these three are the first three definitions with respect to the standards. All three are standards, but the difference is the foundation, okay, the base. How you are providing the different type of the foundations for the vertical components. Then comes number 4, ledgers. So in the figure we can see this is the number 4, and in the cross section, and here in the front view of this wall, within this scaffold, this is the number 4. So what does it means? These are the components. I am going to be highlighted. This is the component. Again, it's a simple line member. Okay, maybe a wooden bamboo or wooden plate, or the simple wooden material, or the steel tubes be there, whatever kind of the material you are providing. But these are the members of the component of the scaffold. Those are providing along the length of the wall, parallel to the wall. Okay, so if you are going to be cut a cross section and you are going to be see from this side, then these ledgers will going to show you just a circle. Okay, that's why those are shown over here. So these are the members like your standard, but the difference between standard and ledger is your ledgers are along the height, the vertical members. Ledgers are the horizontal members but running along or parallel to the wall length. Okay, so these are the ledgers. Then comes putlocks. This is number 5. So here you can see in cross section, this is number 5, and in the here it is not given, and this figure I can mark it. This is number 5, that is putlocks. There are so many putlocks over here. I'm encircling a few from these. These are the putlocks. Okay, so these putlocks are again an horizontal member but placed perpendicular to the wall. Those are embedded inside the wall, and these are providing support to the ledgers also and the standard also. Okay, so here you can see that first these are the putlocks. So if you see from this side cross section, then these are will be in front view. Okay, their view will be like this. So these are the putlocks. Those are going to be going inside the wall. Okay, so later on you can remove it by taking it out. So what does it means? That main support for the horizontal members are from the putlocks. So your putlocks are connecting with the ledgers at the bottom, and you are connecting it with the vertical member over here. Here the connection is made between 3 components of the scaffold: the standard and ledger and the putlocks. So 3 members are connecting at one point. This is the connection point. Okay, then comes planks. Planks are simply the boards, wooden boards. Those can be provided to provide of course a platform. So this is number 6. Okay, so these boards you are providing, those are resting on the putlocks. You can see, okay, here and also here. So on the putlocks you are providing these wooden boards so that the workman can come over here and work on it, and the BTL can be placed. Then comes the braces. So if after providing the base foundation for the standards, vertical members, and by placing or embedding the putlocks within the wall, if this is not sufficient, all of these foundations or these connections are not sufficient, and you are also providing a connection over here with at each and every connection point of these 3 members, still if this whole scaffold is not sufficient to provide you the stability as an over and all, so what we can do, we can provide the bracing. So these inclined members are going to be called as braces. So bracing system for the main structure of the main building is also the same purpose, that it is used to provide the stability to the structure. So similar is here, that here the braces are provided, bracings are provided to provide the stability to the scaffold. Then comes the guard board. Okay, so guard boards are the boards, those are providing you an extra safety for the persons working over here, because from this side this board is going to give you no safety at all. So person can fall from here, the materials can fall from this side. So just to provide a safety from outer side, you can provide this kind of the wooden board, guard boards. And then finally 9 and 10 are the walls. Okay, so here also this is the wall in cross section, this is the wall also in cross section. This slide you can read by yourself, because it is the same I have discussed to you in the figure is written over here for all of the components from 1 to 10. Now dimensions and the different kind of the distances between these components, mean what should be the standard height of the standard, what should be the distance or the difference between the standards, between the put logs and between the ledgers, like this. So depending upon the layout, you can now discuss this first type of the single scaffold or the brick layer scaffolding. This type of the scaffolding is mostly used for the brickwork and consists of an outer row of the verticals called standards to which the longitudinal members are tied at different levels of working. The cross members, mean put logs, are tied to the standards at the outer end and rest on the wall, being built inside. I have told you, and you have also shown in the figure. You have also discussed it while describing the figure. The platform is carried on the put log. Of course, that platform, wooden boards. Distance between the standard. Vertically, you have placed, if this is front of the wall, so here the vertical members have been placed. So the distance between the standards, this one, is about 2 to 2.5 meters. Ledgers connect the standards at the vertical interval of 1.2 to 1.5 meters. Okay, so these are the vertical interval because here if these are the vertical standards, so horizontal ledgers are like this along the length of the wall. So in between the ledgers, the distance should be 1.2 to 1.5 meter. Put logs are taken out from the hole left in the wall to one end of the ledgers, and put logs are placed at interval of 1.2 to 1.5 meters. Okay, so here you are placing the put logs. If we discuss about the cross bracing in the vertical planes, between the verticals are also be introduced for the lateral stability. I have told you this word is very important, that why you are providing the bracing in the scaffold, to provide the lateral stability for the whole structure. Where the vertical post cannot be placed on the base plate or in holes made in the ground, it should be suitably placed and braced for the lateral stability. I have told you, if the foundation of the standards are not well enough to carry the load of the scaffold, then what you have to do, you have to suitably placed locations, you have to provide the bracings. A popular method in such cases is to place the vertical post in a steel barrel of 60 centimeter in height to improve the base foundation of the vertical post, mean standard. So we have also discussed in the figure also that you can provide a steel barrel of 60 centimeter in height and of suitable diameter filled with the compacted earth. This is the mostly generally in the field and on the sites are used method, in which you can provide the stability and the strength for the vertical members. So here another figure where you can well understand. You can see this is the scaffold made up of steel tubes. So you can see that these are the standards 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. So these are the ledgers, and you can see these are the put logs, and wooden board has been placed above it, and materials and the persons are working over this board and this platform. Similarly, in this figure you can see these are the standards, these are labeled also. These are the bracings for the stability, these are the put logs, these are the ledgers, and this is the wooden board on which person can stand and can work. So this is also the first type. Still we are discussing the first type. This is another three-dimensional figure to make you much more understandable this thing, that you are providing the base plate, you are providing the steel barrel with compacted earth for the confinement of this standard. So here these are the put logs, these are the ledgers. Okay. Then comes second type, double scaffolding or the mason scaffolding. This is the supporting system used by the masons for plastering. It has pair of inner and outer verticals. So in this way you are not providing the support for the put logs as in wall. Your put logs in this particular case are not embedded or inserted within the wall, not resting on the wall, but those are resting on the other set of the vertical poles or the standards. The put logs, instead of being supported on the wall, are supported on inner system of verticals, mean standards, and the longitudinal mean ledgers. So here verticals mean standards, longitudinal means ledger along the length of the wall. So to give the additional lateral stability to the narrow and tall framework or the form, it is tied to the building at intervals when used for the multi-story buildings. So here in this figure you can see this is the wall cross section, and you can see these are the two sets of the standards. Okay, this is the difference between the first type and the second type. This is the double layered scaffold in which you can provide the two you can say rows of the vertical members, and in between the vertical members you can provide a put log. Okay, and the ledgers can be provided along the length of the wall in the third direction. Okay, so now to provide the supporting system, these are going to be called as rockers. So instead of the bracing and an additional other than the bracing system, you can also provide this rocker system. This rocker system is also a kind of a bracing in which you can provide the inclined members. Those are going to be embedded within the earth, and anchor support has been provided so that these can be stabilized. This whole structure can be stabilized, this vertical and horizontal members. Next type is cantilever or needle scaffold. For the construction of the upper part of a tall residential building, cantilever scaffolding eliminates unwanted scaffolding at the lower levels, keeping the space free for the vehicles, etc. It is similar to the double scaffold except that it is supported at the bottom by a cantilever prop. So here you can have more understanding about the cantilever or needle type of the scaffold. So this is a floor that is at a very larger height. So let's suppose this is 4th floor or 5th floor. Okay, for the buildings, those are very high rise or tall buildings. For the construction of those buildings, if you're going to be start your formwork from the bottom, then it will be very difficult and it will be very costly and expensive also to provide the bracing system for that type of the scaffold system, and also to provide all of the materials in terms of the standards, wood logs and ledgers. So just to avoid this thing, okay, and just to be free the space for the bottom floors, just we are going to be providing only one platform coming outside. Okay, first of all, that platform is very important. Above that platform that is emerging out of the wall of the building, on the external side, you are just placing the standards, the vertical members, and the similar procedure mean put logs embedding or inserting inside, ledgers you are providing, platform you are providing, rest will be remain the same. But just the difference is that you are not starting from the soil. Anywhere in between, wherever the work is required for one particular type of one particular number of the floor, you are just providing one platen, and that platen is emerged outside, external to the wall, okay, in the air, and you are just providing all of the scaffold material, the components above that. And to provide the stability of this bolt, outer side you are providing this inclined stud, okay, and inner side you are providing this folding wedge, this post, and you are just providing this post so that it can be put the load on it and to be placed this wooden plate or the wooden board on other side in stability. Okay, so it will not going to be turned up, so it will be in stable condition, so or in place. So here also in the figure you can see this is a constructed building in which a terrace or balcony, large terrace and balcony is needed to be built up or constructed, and here the scaffold is required. So what is happening over here, that this kind of the inclined supports are provided and that particular scaffold above that you are providing to work on it. Similarly, you can see that these platens are coming outside of the wall, this kind of the platen, and that is resting on this particular platform that is coming from the inside the building. Okay, so from this side this platform is coming out, this supporting system is coming out, and on this supporting system one, you can say, wooden platform is designed, and above this platform you can see the vertical members and the horizontal members. So now a person can work over here. So these are the studs to provide the inclined support for this particular system of the scaffold. Then comes suspended scaffolding. In tall buildings who are working at high levels, such as painting of the tall buildings, it is more convenient and economical to suspend the working platform from above the ground than to support it from the ground. This is especially so when the height is more than 30 meters. Suspended scaffolds are of three types: further, fixed, operated by pulleys, and operated by winches. Fixed type suspended scaffolds. These are the scaffolds attached to a truss or the roof truss above the site of the work using ropes, chains, and tubes. Suspended scaffold operated by pulleys. These are like the platforms of the window cleaners and painters of the buildings. Suspended scaffolds operated by the winches. These are the heavy platforms hung by the wires from temporary outriggers and operated by the external cranes. So here you can see winches, third type, where one platform is there and it is operated by the pulleys over here, this system. So pulleys will be pulled up, so this whole platform along with this supporting part, it can move up or it can move down. So like this. So this is the system where the pulleys are provided, that platform can move up and it can move down. Then comes very well observed scaffold, that is ladder or trestle. This is used for the light work and is usually portable. So it consists of two ladders with the top ends joined together by the planks so that a person can work on it. So it is portable. You can see the wheels at the bottom. Okay, so your standards mean the vertical components are having the wheels at the bottom, and it may have a ladder to move up, and of course a platform to work. So wherever the work is required, very light work, not heavy loading is there, so you can move it anywhere and the person can work over it. Then comes steel scaffolding, that is also called tubular scaffolding. This scaffolding consists of single or a double rows of the tubular standards, vertical standards, with tubular, horizontal and cross pieces, having special coupling and set of the screws. Of course, if steel be there, then you need a screw system, nut and bolt system, coupling system to make a joint to connect the different type of the components. So for junctions, for connections and the joints. So here you can see this connection. Okay, so this coupling system contains certain screws into it, and you can connect the ledgers with the standards, and also you can connect your bracings. These are the bracings inside that you can provide. So your put logs, okay, your ledgers, those can be connected with the help of the screw systems. Initial cost is more, but maintenance cost is less, because your wood can be deteriorate earlier as compared to the steel. So if you are using this steel scaffolding, so it is long lasting. Okay, so and maintenance is not required much at early age, so you can use it very good in an efficient way in longer terms, but the initial cost is more, and of course it is long lasting. So wherever the cost doesn't matter, For those kind of the projects, you can prefer the steel scaffolding. But where only temporary work is there and cost matters, so there you can use the wooden components to provide the scaffolding. So this is this guys for this today. The part 2 is coming sooner for the other components of the temporary structures provided within the building. Thank you so much, guys.